Hello and welcome back to my channel. I'm so glad you're here. I'm so sorry I've been so MIA. As you may know from my Instagram, my life has been like crazy these last few weeks. But now that I'm settled here in Miami, I feel like that's gonna be an awesome thing for you and for YouTube. Because I'm gonna start a new series on good, easy recipes and a bunch of like just tips and tricks to do everything, like workout, healthy nutrition, work, travel, fun, whatever. So so for those of you who want to do it all, I'm here for you. And today it's kind of gonna be something like that because I got a few requests from you guys to give you some tips on how to balance everything, all like how to balance travel, fitness, health, and work, and just life itself. So I think I organized my thoughts a little bit, but I hope I can remember everything I thought about and everything I have here. So the way I want to do this, I want to group my tips into two sections. So first I'm going to give you tips on how to balance all of that in terms of money. And then I'm going to give you tips on how to balance all of that in terms of time. So let's start with money, because I feel like a lot of people think that they just have to be millionaires to travel the world and like do it all. But that's not true, and I'm here to prove you wrong. So for money, like 4 main sections that I want to talk about, and like 4 tips or 5 tips, I can't remember. I'll just talk. First, I'm going to tell you what my situation was for the past 2 years, because it's not the regular situation. I completely understand that, but I also know that a lot of people that watch this channel are around the same age as me. So if they have the same opportunities that I had, I think they should completely take them, especially if you want to do the things that I did for the past few years and the things that I'm going to keep doing probably. So when I graduated from college, I got a good job. Like, I was a consultant, I was traveling, whatever. I was making a pretty decent amount of money. But like, since I first got my job, I knew that I didn't want to like spend it all and like live this like, you know, fancy life and like move to like a fancy apartment and like all that. I knew I wanted to like do something fun and like, you know, do something different. I wanted to travel. So yes, as a consultant, you travel a lot for work, but that's like Monday through Thursday, and you really like whatever city that you visit, you just go to the hotel, the office, whatever. So my first tip, if you can do this, is to live at home with your parents. And that's gonna sound like, what? Like, no. Especially because I know a lot of people just like graduate and they have this like vision of how they want to live their life, and living with their parents was not part of it. But let me tell you something, like my life would be completely different if I hadn't done that, and I don't regret it a single bit. I moved back home. I know it doesn't sound like the most fun thing. It didn't sound to me back then, but it was like the smartest thing to do for the things that I wanted to do. So I moved back home, and a lot of people spend like half of their paycheck on just like rent and food and like, you know, like electricity and things like that. And I just like didn't have any expenses like that at all. Like, my paycheck was for me and to do anything and everything I wanted to do with that. Except I would like help here and then with like food and groceries at home, but like that wasn't like if you got a good job in your 20s and you're living at home, you're set. um so so that was my tip number one. Like, live at home if you can, or like live with your aunt or like whoever you know that's not gonna like charge you rent, or it's gonna charge you like, I don't know, whatever, $300 a month. So you can like use the money for something else, something that's like not taking half of your paycheck, just for you to like live in. So that takes me to tip number two, which is budget yourself. So now that you have all these money for yourself, you're gonna want to spend it all, because it feels so good and you feel like a millionaire, even though like you're living with your parents, but you kind of are a millionaire. But you need to be careful and you need to be smart. And the way I did it was to, every time I would get my paycheck in my checkings account, I would automatically like separate it and budget myself. So I had 2 savings account, believe it or not. So I have my big savings account, like, you know, for anything and everything, for like future investments, future home, future wedding, whatever I know I'm gonna need a lot of money for. This is my big pile of money right there that I don't touch ever. And then I have another savings account, which is for like experiences and travel and fun and like things that I really, really want to do that don't happen every day, but I know I'm gonna need money for whenever I get there. And then I just have the budget for that month for myself, to like enjoy myself in the little things here and there, to shop if I want to shop. But that's the only money I have to work with that month. So anything that goes in there, I think I was saving like 50 to 60% of my paycheck here, and then I would only put like 100 or 200 every time, like every 2 weeks when I got my paycheck. And that adds up, like, believe it or not, that does add up. And then the money that I had for myself was if I wanted to go shopping, which I love, but I only had that money to work with. If I wanted to you know, go to a concert on a single weekend, or like go have dinner with friends or something, that was the money that I had for that month, and that's it. Like, there was no way I could go back to the savings and like take them out to like do something that wasn't like what they're entitled to. So, and that's another thing that I want to clarify. Like, even though this savings account is for like experiences and like travel and things that you want to do, it's not for like every weekend fun and experiences. It's for like big experiences, like big travels, like things that like are really gonna cost you money, but you really, really want to do. If you want to go to a concert that weekend, that comes from your budget. If you want to go to I don't know, I live in Miami now, so if I wanted to go to Orlando and go to Disney one, and that takes me to my next tip, which is like prioritizing. I know we want to do it all, and that's why I'm here, because I want to help you do it all, but really you need to do it all. Like, you need to do all the things that you really, really want to do, but not do everything. So for example, I actually really like shopping and expensive things, but that doesn't mean I'm always like shopping for like the most expensive bag or shoes or whatever, because I have a budget. Like, if in a given month there's something that I really, 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 really want, that's what I'm gonna spend my money on. But if it's like something that I saw in the mall and it's like, oh, that's cute, but like whatever, and I actually wanted to go out for dinner that night, like, I'm gonna choose to have dinner instead of buying things. If there's something that's like that I really, really want, but it's out of my budget for that month, I actually try to roll over some money. So I try to save money this month so I have more, like I try not save like on the savings account, but I don't spend it this month so I have more next month, and then I can buy like more expensive things, or do more expensive stuff. And I think my last tip was about subscriptions. I think that's like the biggest waste of money ever, unless you really, really, really use it like almost every day. Like for example, Netflix, I would say, like, actually I don't have any cable, I just have Netflix. So that's like a good subscription. Spotify for me, it's like a must-have subscription because I don't waste any time downloading music, so I have to have like music and like follow my boyfriend for the playlist that he makes. But besides that, I don't get subscribed on anything that's gonna like take money from me every single month, because I like, besides like shows and music, like there's really nothing that I do every single month that I need a subscription for. So I know there's a lot of subscriptions for like shoes and or actually clothes that they send it to you every month, and then you choose what you like or what you don't like, but it's already paid for. Yeah, you're always gonna find cute things, but that doesn't mean that you were gonna buy it if it wasn't already sent to you and you already paid for it. So I think that's a waste of money. I think you can use your money better, and you can save it for like when you actually really, really like something and you want to buy it. So besides that, just try to keep your expenses low, man. Prioritize. Like if there's something that you don't want to do and you're just doing it for somebody else, like just don't do it. Like I don't like spending money like going out on like alcohol or like getting a table at a club, because it's something that I don't enjoy as much. So like I'm not gonna spend my money on there. I'd rather have that money for something else. And I know people that would do that and then would also go spend money and also want to travel, and then at the end of the day they don't have any savings, or they're really not traveling as much or on long trips. So I mean, you have to see what you want to do. But okay, try 3 because my camera ran out of memory. So we're here again. I had to like delete some of the stuff, but anyways, my last money tip was gonna be on trying to stick with the same airline or this and the same what's it called, like hotel brand. I did that because first of all, like if you're traveling for work, you should already know this. Everyone knows this. You get miles with your flights, and you get points with your hotel stays. The thing is, when you're traveling for fun, you try to always look for like the cheapest option. And sometimes you're actually not looking at the bigger picture. So if you try to stick with the same airline, sometimes that airline is gonna be maybe like, I don't, like they're very competitive, so they're always gonna be around the same price. But maybe the airline that you are trying to stick to is like $50 more, and then so that's why you go with the other one. But in the long run, if you have enough miles for one trip, that's gonna save you like $500. I think it was worth paying a little bit extra on those other flights. For example, I just went to Israel, Jordan, and Turkey with my grandma, and I had enough miles to buy the ticket for the both of us, a ticket that was like $1,000 each round trip. I bought it with miles, and I paid only for like taxes and fees, and I think that was like $80 for both of us, and that covered like our flight there and back, with miles and $80. And then same with hotels. Like if you try to stay always like, well, if you're actually traveling for fun, my biggest recommendation is to go to like hostels or Airbnbs. If you're doing it by yourself, that's even more fun because you get to meet people and it's a lot cheaper. But for families and for like nicer travels that you want to stay at a hotel, try to do it always also on like the same hotel brands. Like let's say Hilton's, which I don't really like. I'm a Marriott person, which is now also SPG. So you can use your points for either one. And keep in mind that that's a lot of hotels. Like that's it. Within Marriott, you have like the JWs, the Residence Inn, the Courtyards, the Marriott, and then SPG has like the W's, Westin, 4 Points, Sheraton. So you have a bunch to choose from in like different price levels, and every time you stay there paying, you get points. And I think like every like 3 or 4 nights that you pay for, that actually gets you like a free night, depending on the hotel and depending on how many points you're getting and like what hotels you want to buy with points. But every 3 or 4 nights, I would say that gets you like a pretty decent free night for the future. So that's always also like a good way to save. A huge tip is use your points when you're gonna stay longer than 4 days. Because if you buy 4 nights with points, the 5th one is free. So you're essentially using like points for 4 nights, but you get 5 nights. So that's another way to save. And I think that's it for money. Now we can go down to time. For time, it's gonna be the same principle as money. You have to prioritize what you wanna spend your time on. For example, me, I really like fitness and working out and prepping my meals. So every day I wake up at 4:45 a.m. and I hit the gym, and I'm making time for it. And I don't have that time. I could like sleep in until I have to go to work, but I'd rather wake up early, get that done. It sets me on a good mood because I wake up to do something that I like, rather than just like wake up and going to work. So I think that's beneficial for my mental health and obviously my physical health as well. But I know that I already got that out of the way, and I do that while I'm working on my everyday life, and I also do that while I'm on vacation, because people usually don't wake up on vacation until like 10 a.m. or so, or that's at least how my family and my friends do it. So I try to get my workout in before anyone else is up, so I get that done and I can go out and spend my day wherever I want. Second tip would be to plan, write everything down, have your to-do list. So after you sit down and you prioritize, so this is everything that I want to get done or whatever, you have to actually make a plan. Like if it's in your head, like your day's gonna go by and like you didn't do half the things you wanted to do. So I write everything down, from like calling my mom to make plans to go out with my friends this weekend, to like answer this email, need to return this to Amazon. Everything I write down so that I accomplish things every day, because if not, you're gonna go to work, you're gonna come back home, you're gonna be tired, and you're just gonna want to sit there and watch Netflix and wait for the next day. So if you have it written down, I think that's a way to be accountable, because every night you're gonna want to feel like, okay, everything that I have planned for today, I did it. And that also includes like, okay, so today I'm gonna like book my travel, or I'm gonna like go to this social event because it's beneficial for me, or I'm gonna work on like my personal project. So I write all of those things down just because I want to get somewhere. I want to do something with my life. And if you don't do those things, like it's just never gonna happen. You're too comfortable. You're making enough money. You have a nice house, or you have a nice life, or whatever. But like, you want more, and it's never gonna come if you don't like work for it. So you have to like hold yourself accountable. Do it, like write it down, do it, scratch it up, and do the same thing the next day, and the next day, and the next day. For work, that's my third tip. If you have like a regular job, being like 8 to 5, or consulting where you have like longer hours or whatever, just like manage expectations. Like, know from the beginning, talk to your boss, your manager, whatever, and just gonna be honest with them. Like, how many hours of my day is this gonna take from me? Like, how flexible are you for like me working from home? How flexible are you for me to, like, I don't know, step out of the office if I need to like go to the doctor, or things like that. They're gonna help you get other things done rather than just work every day. And I think that also helps for like mental health, because you're doing other things. You're not just like working like a machine every day. So after you manage expectations at your job, that takes me to my last tip for time, and it's if you can negotiate having like a work from home Friday, or like every other Friday you have free, or something like they do that a lot now, where you like work 9 hours every day, but you have a free Friday every 2 weeks or something. So I recommend to do that if you want to do like short weekend travels, because you have no idea how much you can see in one weekend if you just go to one city. Like, I did it for Barcelona. I was there for 4 days, and it was like more than enough. We saw New York in one weekend. I've done Boston in one weekend. I've done Destin for like a 4th of July weekend, San Antonio in one weekend. So there's a lot of cities that you can just go see and have like 2 or 3 days to explore, and it's like more than enough. So if you work at a place that they let you have like free Fridays every now and then, or you can like work from home on Fridays, you can actually like leave Thursday night, and you're already there on Thursday if you have time to explore around or whatever. Then Friday you can either have the free day or work from the hotel or wherever you are, and then by the afternoon you're just like already there, and you have the whole weekend to go explore, do whatever you want to do in that city. You have full Saturday, pretty much full Sunday if you're leaving Sunday night. For my consultants out there, you have until Monday morning to leave, so that gives you like the full weekend. But if you're just like a regular 9 to 5, you can also work out so that you can like get to work by like noon on Monday, or like things like that, if you need to get the whole Sunday wherever you go. So that's another tip for time, for allowing more time to travel and to have fun. And then I think I'm done. I know I was all over the place. I had a plan and I just kept talking. So I hope this was helpful. I hope you can take a few things from everything I said today, that you can apply, and that helps you get a little bit more balance. If you just want to do it all, if you want to like work out and have fitness and healthy lifestyle, but you work, but you want to travel at the same time. So it's just, at the end, it's just knowing what's important for you and what you want to spend your time and money on. For me, it's traveling, and fitness, but that doesn't take a lot of money or a lot of time if you make the time for it. And then third thing in my life would be family and friends. And like I said, I literally like write down if I need to call them, if I need to make plans with them. If it's been too long without seeing someone, I tend to like text them or something and like try to make plans. But everything is like written down in my agenda or in my planner or whatever you want to call it, because if not, your life is gonna go right by and you're just on your 9 to 5 and watching Netflix all day. So again, if you like this video, please give it a thumbs up, and leave a comment if you have any more questions about this topic. I plan to expand on things like this, because I always get questions on like how I do everything and how I have time. And I also know that a lot of people think that I spend a lot of money, and that's not the truth. So I wanted to come on here and give you guys a little tips on how I do it and how you can do it too. So I hope to see you guys in the next one, and subscribe if you want to see more. And yep, thank you, bye.